All right, here. Today I am going to give y'all my predictions for this Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series All-Star Race at the Texas Motor Speedway. And before I get into my race picks, I'm going to talk about Sonoma, and I'm also going to talk about what I'm doing. I'm doing a Pick 5 contest for this Sunday's race, and if you're new to the channel and wondering, how does a Pick 5 contest work? Well, it is pretty simple. All you're going to have to do is go down below to the comment section and type in who you think will finish in the top 5. If you go 5 for 5, you get an autograph of your choice. And if you go 4 for 5, you get an unsigned hero card. And I can say this without hesitating. I got every single driver that is competing right now in NASCAR's hero card. So there you go. Comment down below your top 5 to be entered. But let's get started.
Ryan Priest, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
This past Sunday, the NASCAR Cup Series headed out west to race in Southern California's track, Sonoma Raceway. Sonoma Raceway is a road course, and it is a really challenging road course if you add the new carousel that they added back in 2019. And you got to remember, they raced it in 2019, and 2020 was not a deal. It was off because of many reasons. We all know why. But this year was the first time they raced here since 2019. So a lot of teams had it hard for them and challenging for them. But some teams found a good mojo, I guess you can say, and that would be Kyle Larson in the 5 car. Kyle Larson is coming off a big win at the Coca-Cola 600. And with him winning that race and second in points, he obviously got the nod to be on the pole. And he started on the pole for the Sonoma race, and he really did not look back by any means. There was really no one as good as him besides Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott. But Kyle Larson won both stages, like he did last week at Charlotte, where he won all 3 stages and won the race at the end. But at Sonoma, Kyle Larson won stage 1 and stage 2, and he went on to win the race. And Kyle Larson did beat out some tough challengers, and one of them was his teammate Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, before this race, he was 5 for 6 in the last 6 races at road courses, winning. He won 5 out of 6. That's crazy. That's unheard of for someone that young and that equipment. That's just crazy. It blows my mind. But Chase Elliott did that. But now he is 5 for 7. But man, he gave Kyle Larson a run for his money at the end. But with Kyle Larson winning and Chase Elliott finishing runner-up, that is a 1-2 finish for Hendrick Motorsports, and that is 4 in a row for Hendrick Motorsports. That is a big deal, and they do got some good tracks coming up for them. You got Texas this Sunday, the All-Star race. All 4 cars are entered into the main event. And if you go to Nashville, Nashville is a big unknown. They haven't raced during the Cup Series, if I'm not mistaken. And then you go to Pocono at a doubleheader. Going to be interesting there. Hendrick Motorsports always runs well there at Pocono and Pennsylvania. And the following week, on the 4th of July, they will race at Road America, another road course, and they got a great road course driver lineup. And then so on. So Hendrick Motorsports has some good tracks coming up, and they can very well go on a run here with a lot of 1-2 finishes. And right now they're at 4, and that very well might continue. But finishing third was Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr., towards the end of the race, was really good on the longer run. But when they pitted last and he came out just ahead of Kyle Larson, he was struggling with grip. And while he was struggling, Kyle Larson caught up to him and eventually passed him. And then when he passed him, Martin Truex Jr. said on the team radio to James Small, his crew chief, saying, "I'm just going to ride this out and save my stuff for the end, not like Kyle Larson." And then a caution came out. And this caution right here was a game changer because he saw another restart for one, but you saw some drivers stay out while most of them pitted. And we saw Corey LaJoie up front, and Corey LaJoie, just a couple laps later after that restart, was involved in a wreck in the final carousel with Kevin Harvick and William Byron and Ross Chastain. He ended William Byron's day, who went to the garage, if I'm not mistaken, for holding a radiator, which is not a good sign if you want to continue on. And Kevin Harvick had a big hole in his nose, in the car. The whole thing had to be cut off. and then his rear was damaged pretty bad, but he continued on. And then Ross Chastain got lucky out of them all. He got spun out. He was backwards at once. And next thing you know, my man goes forward and gains positions as once he was just spun around. It was crazy that Ross Chastain passed a lot of people after he wrecked. It's just crazy. But Corey LaJoie caused that caution. And that is simply because he had old tires and the cars behind had better tires. And just facts right there. But had another restart. And we saw another wreck involving Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece on the final backstretch, I guess you can say, at Sonoma, and right before the carousel, the final carousel, he got off into the grass, and then he got sideways. I mean, when you're told to do that, hold on to the brake, but he came back on track and made contact with Cody Ware and ended Cody Ware's day, but Ryan Preece continued on. Now, it was really controversial. But like I said, though, Truex, he was caught up in a bad timing situation. If he would have held on to that position instead of letting Larson pass him, he could have very well won the race, but a lot of things did not go Truex's way. So that's why he ended up third. But finishing fourth was Joey Logano, who was pretty stout all day, and then he had Kyle Busch finishing fifth. And Kyle Busch bringing home another top 5 finish. Keep your eye on the Candyman, Kyle Busch. But my driver of the week has to go to the Watermelon Man, Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain has 3 top 10s in 2021. That is more than Matt Kenseth that he had all last year where he raced a 42 car in replacement of Kyle Larson, who was suspended by NASCAR and Chip Ganassi Racing. Ross Chastain brought home a top 10 finish in the Daytona 500, the Great American Race, and he also brought home a top 5 finish, not top 10, top 5 at COTA, and now he brought home a top 10 finish at Sonoma. Really good for Chastain, but also got to give out a shout out to his teammate Kurt Busch, who brought it home P7, if I'm not mistaken. Just a great day overall for that whole organization. But you got to remember, last week at Charlotte, both Ganassi cars had to retire or go to the garage and call it quits for the day because they had an issue. The belt came loose, and when the belt came loose, they lost power steering and oil pressure, and that meant they both blew up. But Chastain got lucky, did not blow up somehow, but his teammate Kurt Busch did, and he finished dead last. But there you go. There is the top 5 from Sonoma: Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, and Kyle Busch. But now let's talk about the All-Star race. The NASCAR Cup Series has an All-Star race every single year. And years past, it has always been at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. But until last year was an unknown year. A lot of things were just fluid, and we did not know where we'd be racing the All-Star race last year until SMI, the Speedway Motorsports Incorporated, decided to move the All-Star race to Bristol. And that was because they were going to have fans in attendance, not like they were going to have one in Charlotte, because they could have had one in Charlotte by all means, but there were going to be no fans in the stands. And what kind of fun is that? So they moved it to Bristol last year. $1 million on the line at a short track. It cannot get much better. And it kind of lived up to the hype, I guess you could say. Starting off with the Open, it was really exciting and chaotic. We saw a lot of wrecks, and you got to remember the Bubba Wallace and Michael McDowell incident where McDowell wrecked Bubba, and Bubba took the nose of his car to the 34 hauler. Thought that was a little funny there, but Bubba did that. He's a humorous guy, I guess you can say. But we saw a lot of side-by-side racing. And when you went to the All-Star race, they tried out a lot of different stuff. You got to remember last year, the LED lights. Toyotas had red, and then the Chevys had amber gold, and then the Fords had blue. And the numbers were slid back, and just a lot of different things that NASCAR tried 1 year ago. You live to learn, and I don't think they'll be bringing back the lights this year. Unfortunately, I did not like it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all might agree with me. But the number of placements, that remains a big controversial topic, and more than likely, NASCAR will go to the number of placements for next year by the quarter panel, and that's not good for a lot of people. I think it's good for sponsorship because they're going to get more attention, I guess you can say, because Most sponsorships usually have a logo and some lettering, and you do not want to separate them. So if you keep them right beside one another, that'll work out really, really well. But I'm not sad about that. But this year it's at Texas, and it's a Lone Star State, full capacity, cannot get much better. But my top five for this Sunday in the All-Star race is going to be no other than a Hendrick driver winning. Hendrick Motorsports, like I said just a couple moments ago, they're on a hot run right now. 4 races with a 1-2 finish. And I don't think that continues, but this is not a points-paying race. But they do get a driver in victory lane, and that would be Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson last year was suspended. We all know why. I'm not going to talk about it. But came back this year. Started off in the Daytona 500. He was quiet. He wasn't mentioned much. Had a solid run there. And this race has started clicking by, and then Vegas rolled around. And he won Vegas. And that was a big race for him since he won it, and it caught a lot of attention, media attention, if you will, worldwide. But he continued on, and I guess you could say, choked a lot of races. Kyle Larson right now has 3 wins in the regular season. He can very well have 4, maybe 5, 6 wins so far. He just choked them, and you got to feel bad for him and his team. But that win at Vegas was big because it's his first win, obviously. But Cliff Daniels is crew chief, first win in NASCAR. Cliff Daniels, in my opinion, is the most underrated crew chief in NASCAR. In years past, he's been with Jimmy Johnson, the GOAT, 7-time champ. But they failed to reach victory lane and more so the playoffs. But this year, Cliff Daniels is experiencing both. He's now locked into the playoffs, and he has 3 wins under his belt. Make that 4 with the All-Star race. I know it's non-points paying, but I do pay the winner $1 million. That's a lot of money. Kyle Larson wins the All-Star race. Finishing runner-up to him will be Kyle Busch, the Candyman. He's going to give the Hendrick Motorsports cars a run for their money throughout the summer stretch and towards the playoffs. So keep your eye on Kyle Busch. Finishing third will be Chase Elliott representing Hendrick Motorsports. And finishing 4th will be Denny Hamlin. And finishing 5th will be the 48 car of Alex Bowman. And that makes 3 out of 4 Hendrick cars inside the top 5. And my dark horse will be no other than Austin Dillon in the 3 car. Austin Dillon won the Texas race last summer and in dramatic fashion. We saw a lot of wrecks there. But that's my All-Star race predictions, and you got to look at it before the race, actually. You're going to have a 50-lap shootout before the drivers. They have not won a race this past year, and it's going to be interesting. And there going to be 4 drivers advancing. I say the first segment will go to Tyler Reddick from RCR. The second segment will go to, I would say, Daniel Suarez from Trackhouse Racing. And this third one here might catch a lot of people off guard. Austin Cindric. So you got Tyler Reddick, Daniel Suarez, and Austin Cindric racing their way into the main event. And the driver vote will go to Bubba Wallace. So those are my 4 drivers advancing to the main event. Please like and subscribe. And also go check out Winning Bets, JB Racing News Reviews, and Righteous Redneck on YouTube. They put out some great content, so check them out. You would not be let down. They're good folks, so go check them out. Peace.